presented by Cap's Pizza and Pub. Here's your host, Paul Tipton.
Hey, Vero Nation. Thanks for joining us for another live episode of Coach's Corner here at Cap's Pizza. Happy Halloween to everybody. Parris, the host Jankowski with me here tonight as we talk about week number 10. It was a loss to Treasure Coast, 22-10. Solid first half, Coach. Defense actually gave you an early takeaway, but we settled for a 35-yard field goal. I don't know what. Well, I want to find out what your thoughts are, honestly, in the first half of play. I would say maybe the theme of the game might be missed opportunities. But what are your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate. I mean, we had, as you mentioned, we were able to get a big turnover there on their first offensive drive and took the ball over to the 13-yard line. First play, got it out, got it across to I think it was the 1-yard line, and second down, tried a little quarterback ISO and got stuffed up a little bit. And actually it was first down. We had gotten a first down after the first play. So we're first and goal from the 1 and, don't get in there. And then on second down, we have a bad snap and have to recover the ball at the 18-yard line. So now you're third and goal at the 18 instead of, whatever. So fortunately, we were able to get away with some points, and that was the first field goal attempt of the season, and hit the 35-yarder. So very proud of the field goal team and Braden Marson hitting that field goal at a critical time in the game, and then we go on and play, and we're down 7-3 for most of the first half, and then put together that big offensive drive to close out the half and go into halftime with a 10-7 lead. So. We did have some other opportunities, throughout there, but I thought, we expected to be in a hard-fought game against a very talented football team, and went into halftime 10-7, receiving the opening kickoff. So felt pretty good about some things. And second half really just was a little bit some of the same of what we talked about with some missed opportunities. We at one point in time in the game recovered another fumble, and it was at the plus 23-yard line, and unfortunately had a couple busts there back to back. And what I mean by busts are just missed assignments, and came at some critical times, and ended up turning the ball over on down. So again, missed field position opportunity, and ended up losing the game. And it's a losing is a tough feeling, especially in a game like that. You're playing for the district championship. I would say probably coaches I probably shouldn't get into where I'm speaking for all coaches, but just speaking for myself, I think I know that I'm quite sure I probably have an addictive personality, right? So you're addicted to whatever it is, and I think in coaching, I'm not addicted to drugs, so but I am addicted to this, and so I would compare it to that. I surely don't want to offend anybody that may be listening. I know that I'm talking about a silly game compared to a real life deal, but I mean I think some of the same in that that you've got to move past it, but you can't. You go back to it and you think about the different things that go on during a game, and you revert back to it. And I think that it's not a matter of feeling sorry for yourself, but it's for the people that you've let down,
right?
The players. We've got great kids and those kinds of things. So you wish that there was something that you could go back and do again to make the result different. And I think, I guess that's where the comparison comes in. And so I know that that's the case, but you also know that you've got to move on, because we certainly have a game this week. I think we've clinched for all practical purposes, have clinched a state playoff berth. And now we're working to see how all that plays out. And I do think we've got a quality team. We'll learn from these mistakes. And we were short a day, with playing on Saturday, that whatever that I just described, if that made any sense to anybody, you get past that and you go out to Monday's practice, and you got to get back after it. You got to, you can't let that same game beat you twice. You can't let the same team beat you twice. You got to move on. Get the mistakes corrected. So we went out Monday. We had a great staff meeting on Sunday. Went out Monday and really just put the positives out there, because there were a lot of positives in the game. There were some great things that happened in the game. There were certainly some negatives and some things that will get corrected and be better because of.
Coach, in a game like this, sometimes your opponent, Coach Jones, is an outstanding coach. You guys have had a great coaching rivalry for the last 13 years, and you've been
Mhm.
won most of them
Mhm.
at all. But did he do anything different? Did he do anything that maybe caught you off guard or you didn't see happening? Or did he change anything in his defensive scheme at all or offensive scheme?
No, I mean they're always going to do something a little different than you haven't seen. But as far as coverage schemes or anything like that, and I told that to our players. I said, there have been plenty of games that I've come away from, especially when you come up on the short end of the stick, where I feel like, goodness, we didn't have the best game plan, or I didn't call the best game, or the coaches didn't do whatever but I don't really feel like in this case, I mean, I felt like our game plan, we had a great week of practice going in. I think we started to talk about that last Tuesday, and it finished very strong. I mean, even with the extra day, I felt like our kids stayed focused. I felt like, we practiced well. I felt like we had a great game plan in all three phases. It surely, at times, I'm sure didn't look like that to the naked eye that it was, but it was. I mean, there were some great things that happened, and some situations that didn't work our way. But if it was a little bit different, probably should have or could have, but we know that saying as well. So, did they do something? I guess the short answer is, yeah. There's always going to be some little wrinkles, some things that maybe. Cause you a little different look, but in the big picture, wasn't a whole lot different.
Coach, in that second half, when things, starting with the safety, the sideline, what was the mood of the sideline? I mean, were guys trying to get frustrated, and were you trying to have to kind of corral guys in? What was going on over there?
Well, I think that momentum is a real thing, and so we come out, like you said, we're up 10-7. And we felt like we had a pretty good halftime. We're going to do some things, and we end up going 3 and out with again just a few little I guess just a few mistakes, and then we have to punt there, which is again in a game like this not something that you really feel like is not going to happen, and I think maybe the first time this year that we snap it over the punter's head. It's a safety, and it's still really it's 10-9. We're still in the lead. We've got to kick off. We're not we didn't have we were not going to have great field position anyway. They were going to have a decent field position, so it wasn't the end of the world. But I think that the momentum that you see, well, and we're talking about 16 to 18-year-old kids, so there was a little bit of a momentum shift there, I think. But even through most of that second half, a lot of that second half, even when after they scored, was a 15-10 game. And I thought, again, on the positive side, stopping that 2-point conversion, I thought was a big move. It didn't work itself out, but to be able to hold them and continue to allow it to be a 1-score game, and we had an opportunity and again didn't capitalize on it. But again, it just there are many things that we could probably do 3 or 4 shows and fill up some time to talk about all the ifs, ands, and buts. But at the end of the day, we came up short. We've got some things to improve upon, and again, we've got great kids that like to work at it. And we came out yesterday, had a great day, and today was another good one.
It's always challenging after a loss to have the team meeting. I know you alluded a little bit in the start of this segment what you said to the team, but what was your message to the team after the game?
That we just we've got to put it behind us. It doesn't really affect in the grand scheme of things. I felt like we're still in a position to get into the state playoffs, which it doesn't change any of those long-term, long vision goals that we might have. So. We can be better because of it if we handle things and do things the right way. And I feel positive that's going to happen. I'm very fortunate to work with some great guys. We've got some unbelievable coaches on our staff, and like I said, we met on Sunday. Had a very good start to the week yesterday, and today was another good day.
Well, we're heading towards week 11. We're actually in week 11 already here, and we'll be wrapping up the regular season against Lake City, Columbia. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about some of our players and the kind of season they've been having so far. We'll be back with more right after this. Caps Pizza and Pub, a proud sponsor of the Fighting Indians and Christian FM, serving Vero for over 35 years. Caps offers Italian cuisine, including pizza, strombolis, calzones, hot and cold subs, plus wings. A family-owned and operated business, John and his staff are happy to serve. Caps Pizza and Pub, 725 27th Avenue Southwest, Vero Beach, 772-770-2277 or capspizzamenu.com.
Molinari Pools is a proud supporter of Fighting Indians football and Christian FM. A family-owned and operated business, the Molinari family, longtime members of this community. Joel Molinari, a former Fighting Indian, loves serving the Treasure Coast residents from pool cleaning to repairs to pool remodeling. Molinari Pools. Love people, love pools. 772-778-2633 or molinaripools.com.
Smart, stylish, fly, these are the words of Dapper. Joey's Downtown Dapper, a barbershop that provides more than haircuts. They provide a fun experience with a local flavor. Owner Joey Lucchini is a lifelong resident of Vero Beach, loves supporting local charities, youth sports, and Fighting Indians football. 5 14th Avenue, downtown Vero Beach, a support of Christian FM.
Hi, JW from Barker Air Conditioning. These hot and humid days sure do take a toll on your air conditioning system. Barker Air Conditioning offers our ESA annual or semi-annual maintenance plans to keep things in good working order. Barker Air Conditioning, servicing Indian River County since 1959.
A family business for 25 years, Total Golf Cart supports the Fighting Indians and their fans. They're the authorized club cart dealer and love to assist buyers to find the golf cart that best meets their needs. They offer both new and used club cars. And Total Golf Cart also has a full service department at 1140 South US 1 in Vero Beach or at totalgolfcart.com.
The Fighting Indians rely on teamwork, and so does Christian FM. One of those teammates is Scott Sporting Goods. Scott Sporting Goods features an array of sporting equipment, including clothes and shoes. They are also the ones that fit our Fighting Indians broadcast team with the Fighting Indians apparel. Located in downtown Vero Beach, 1407 20th Street. Their phone number is 778-0661. Thanks to Scott Sporting Goods.
The Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub.
And here we are back here for Coach's Corner. Happy Halloween, everybody. I'm Paul Tipton, along with Gary Parris and Coach Jankowski. And Gary, you wearing a mask tonight? Yeah, you're wearing a mask. I figured
Got
as
my
much.
serious look on.
That's your serious look tonight. All right, Coach. I'm glad we could get that game behind us, as you said. Let's talk about, as the season's winding down, talk about some of your players here tonight. Let's start with your quarterback, Tyler Aronson. He's got 1,633 yards, 21 touchdowns, and, maybe some of these stats might be different now. I think I got these from the Max Preps before you put the other numbers in, so he's maybe a little bit higher than that. But quietly, I guess if I could say it that way, he's kind of quietly having a good game. I think we've kind of used 2,000 yards as kind of our unofficial milestone, so to speak, for measuring our quarterback. So he's working his way towards that mark.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's become the milestone. It makes me feel old because I remember when 1,000 yards passing was like if you could get to that. So, but yeah, Tyler is having a really nice season, and we've steadily tried to figure out our best offensive lineup, and I think still as we're getting this stuff figured out, and it seems awkward to say that going into game 10, but just through things that happen, natural things that happen, whether it be injury or getting guys back, getting whatever happens, and just getting it all figured out. And I think to Tyler's credit, there have been you just look at the stat sheet. There have been a bunch of guys play receivers and do different things in different games, but just very proud of Tyler. He's a lot of fun to coach, and continues to impress with different plays, different ways that he's able to showcase his talent. I think he would be the first to admit that he didn't play his best game against Treasure Coast, but I think that's collectively. I think that we just didn't have a great offensive night, and oftentimes, you look at I tell our quarterbacks all the time, before the season starts, I say there's a couple things. One is that the quarterback gets way, way, way too much credit, and then the quarterback gets way, way, way too much blame. And then when you lose, there's two people that get the blame. It's the quarterback and the head coach, and you got to be able to take that. That it comes with the territory, and he's done a great job of handling that. We were talking a little bit about, I always like to we didn't get an opportunity to do that this week, but to watch games on Saturday, because just when you start feeling bad about yourself or bad about your team, when you do something on, typically we play on Friday nights, you can turn a game on Saturday, and you know, people that have been coined gurus all of a sudden, aren't gurus anymore. And then, people that are quarterbacks that are considered, beyond human, all of a sudden have a game and you recognize that they're human. We're talking about the Caleb Williams guy, the quarterback at USC. He has a game against Notre Dame where all of a sudden people are wondering what's wrong with them and all this kind of stuff, fair or unfair. And most of the time that's unfair. So I think that, we talk about this, that every experience has value. Tyler's got a very bright future ahead of him, obviously, an SMU commit. And I think all these experiences that he's been able to have through his high school career are going to help him down the road.
How about your sophomore running back that's such a dual threat? He's got over 1,000 yards combined offensively, and it's about evenly split down the middle between his rushing yards and receiving yards.
Yeah, I mean, who would have thought, coming into the season, Jonathan Hillsman was our guy last year that ended up as a freshman, had to start the regional final games due to injuries and some things that happened, and obviously stepped up. We recognized the talent there, and he just has had a great offseason. He had a great offseason, really worked his tail off and came into the season ready and really has, I think, if you just look at the whole body of work, he's been the guy that's been most steady on the offense. He's able to do so many things out of the backfield. It's a lot of fun to design plays, to design opportunities to really showcase his skill set and allow him to get touches however that needs to be. He's been great throughout the season and still a lot of great stuff ahead of him.
I think one of the most challenging things besides the quarterback position in your offense is that receiver. Mm-hmm. And coming in as a first-year guy and being able to be productive is an unbelievable feat. And that's exactly what Isaiah Roberts has been able to do with 37 catches and over 360 yards, 4 touchdowns. Not bad.
Yeah, so Isaiah's a guy that, again, is his versatility, I think, has allowed him. We've played Isaiah in the slot and recently have moved him out to an outside receiver position, have used him in a lot of different motions and really tried to, again, take advantage of his skill set. He's got a lot of experience. He's got great quickness and good vision and all those kinds of things that you try to do. And he's one of those guys that you go into a game and you say, okay, he's got to, touch the ball X number of times. We got to figure out ways to get him involved. And again, a lot of fun to coach. Great kid, very competitive, and does some great things.
He hasn't been in the lineup due to injury, but you're starting to see what type of player R.J. Jones can be, especially on the offensive side.
Yeah, so R.J. missed the first 8 games or so, and he was the guy that went down in the week of the kickoff classic. I think it was a Tuesday practice, and so we weren't sure if he was going to get back this season. And so slowly but surely, he got cleared on a Thursday, and then we actually played him a few plays on the Friday games. I think that speaks volumes for his talents and his ability, and to miss the first 8 weeks of the season, and then be able to contribute a little bit there, and so. He's been able to practice, and we've been able to see. I think we talked last week about his interception on our sideline and what a great play that was. And then here this week, he makes an unbelievable play on just a little bubble screen, really, where they had guys, and it was only a 3-yard touchdown reception, but it was a great, phenomenal play where he dives for the pylon, gets in there, and gets us our only touchdown of the game. But he's a tremendous talent, just a junior, and again, just a lot of fun to coach.
It used to be that, you had senior heavy teams, and those were the dominant teams. Those were the ones you had to watch out that year. But now you're seeing such a good mix of talent across the board, no matter what class they're in. And when I look at some of your other receivers like Simon and Jacobs and, of course, Torres, combined, they've got 35 receptions.
Yeah, I think what people don't realize, again, because we've got these obviously lofty expectations, and I think the bar has been, we've risen the bar pretty high for each and every year, but people forget to realize, and I think Gary mentioned early in the season, just when we were talking about the JV team, that we've got, some very, very, talented young players that are in our lineup contributing on both sides of the ball. And that's exciting. That's exciting for now, and it's exciting for the future.
That's all the offense. Let's talk about that defense. It's been doing a phenomenal job all season long with 21 takeaways on the season. Pretty good number.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's something that's a point of emphasis each and every week are the takeaways, and I think it was last week where we talked about the 4 interceptions. This week we had the 2 fumble recoveries, and we continue to put pressure on our opponent's offense, and we got some great players there. I think probably people like to talk about TJ Alford. He's been the linebacker that has done some great things there inside. He's a phenomenal talent, just a junior. And again, just really does a lot of great things just with his combination of size and speed and athleticism and all that. But there's Tutu Griffin and RJ Jones and EJ White and Elijah Anderson and Afion Rivers and these guys, Big Deuce on the D line, Matthew Bacon, all these guys have week in, week out, just really play hard and just very proud of them.
Coach, I would like to ask you this because who would be like that unsung hero that both offensively and defensively that's come along this year that's been a pleasant surprise, or you thought he had the talent and he's now showing it, but who would be those type players that you would be your unsung heroes of this season?
We try to give, the accolades where they come. And we're very fortunate to have you guys covering our games and get to do these kinds of shows and really just kind of showcase our players. But I mean, I think if you look at the offensive side of the ball, I think anytime you talk about unsung heroes, you got to talk about the O-line, and those guys, they're the most unselfish. It's the most unselfish position in all of sports.
Yeah.
The only time they really get recognized, sometimes, undeserved. I know we watch film on offense and, it may get statistically noted as a sack, but the quarterback may have left the pocket earlier. You may have had a breakdown, but, so I think, anybody that plays offensive line, and there's guys like Chase Stevens and Champ Smith and Jordan Thomas and Ben Hall and, Romeo Vargas and all these guys that play on that O-line are, they're unsung heroes just by nature. Defensively, I think sometimes to the defensive line, there's guys that sometimes are doing all the dirty work and that those other guys are getting some of the glory. But, I've loved the season that Matthew Bacon has had, and when he missed a couple games just due to injury, but he's been out there playing with the club, and then obviously went down in this game, and that was something that was costly for us. We hope to get him back, but so we'll see how that'll go, and so whether it's an unsung hero or not, I've really enjoyed his season and watching him play. But I think this game. Dash Ferguson was a guy that Dash is just that little bowling ball number 99 that lines up in the middle and really played a huge part in trying to limit these guys at Treasure Coast and so those guys do a good job. But sometimes Afion Rivers, because he's short in stature and he's lined up next to these beasts playing linebacker, but he makes a lot of plays at linebacker as well and kind of keeps things together. He's one of the glue pieces of the defense. So I could go on and on. We love our guys. They do a good job. They play as a team, and I think it shows on a regular basis.
Well, Lake City, Columbia comes to the Citrus Bowl this Friday night to ramp up the regular season, and we got playoffs on the horizon as well. We're going to talk about both of those when we come back. Caps Pizza and Pub, a proud sponsor of the Fighting Indians and Christian FM, serving Vero for over 35 years. Caps offers Italian cuisine, including pizza, strombolis, calzones, hot and cold subs, plus wings. Family-owned and operated business, John and his staff are happy to serve. Caps Pizza and Pub, 725 27th Avenue Southwest, Vero Beach, 772-770-2277 or capspizzamenu.com.
Hi, I'm Shelly, owner of Dog Training Elite, Treasure Coast. Our family passion is to help the families that come to us create peace and harmony in the home with their beloved family dog. At Dog Training Elite, we're dedicated to helping our clients, along with their dogs, learn obedience, manners, or train to be service dogs. Any size and age, we can help. Online at dogtrainingelite.treasurecoast.com. Go Indians!
Christian FM thanks Parris Family Chiropractic for their support. Dr. Matt Parris is a longtime resident of Vero Beach and a former quarterback for the Fighting Indians. Just like our Fighting Indians work hard for the win, Dr. Parris works hard for a patient's well-being. From proper alignment to good nutrition, Dr. Parris helps patients achieve the win. Parris Family Chiropractic. When the spine is in line, everything is fine. 299-4649 or ParrisFamilyChiro.com.
Durfee's Heating and Cooling, a longtime friend and supporter of Christian FM. Durfee's Heating and Cooling offers air conditioning repairs, maintenance, and new installations. Family owned and operated, serving the Treasure Coast area. Durfee's Heating and Cooling, 772-971-5884.
The Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub.
And welcome back. All right, folks. And we're wrapping up the regular season. Hard to believe that we're here, but we are here. So, as Coach talked about in the previous segment, it's time to rebound, put that game of Treasure Coast behind us, because now we got to focus in on Lake City, Columbia. Coach, this is a team that's 4-4. They start out at 0-4, and they've won their last 4 games. So they're getting hot at the right time. And by the numbers, to me, it looks like this is a team that very much likes to pass the ball.
Yeah, I mean, they've used 2 different quarterbacks, and they're a spread offense and have exceptional athletes, all across the board. And you mentioned that they got off to a slow start, losing their first 4 against 4 of the top teams in the state, and then have won their last 4 again against some very, very good teams. And so I think our fans need to expect one of the top teams in the state. They'll be coming in. They've already clinched their district. They're district champs. I've been very impressed. Coach Allen was there previous, I believe, won a state championship. This is his first year back. He's, coached at Florida State, and I've known him for a while, and does a good job. And these guys are extremely talented. They are a team that will spread it out. They'll try to run the ball, but they've got a good offensive scheme. They'll throw it around. The quarterback's a good athlete, and they'll do some good things.
All right, so that'll be the game Friday night. And then, I guess one of the biggest questions we're all trying to figure out is win or lose, are we in the playoffs? What's your estimation right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we just want to keep our eyes on the road and focus on this game. But I think, for planning purposes and our fans, I think, we've the body of work that we've put in so far should put us and align us for the state playoffs. And that's, obviously one of the big goals that, heading into the season. So we're excited for that opportunity when it comes about. But we certainly want to take care of business this week. We've got huge challenges. They'll be one of the better defenses that we face this season. And then you mentioned some of the things that are challenges on offense. So we're really looking forward to this game. Again, one of those games that when you set your schedule, we were able to add these guys to the schedule. And as crazy as it is in the way the rankings work, we really feel like we bolstered our strength of schedule this year. Adding Lake City, Columbia, Sanford Seminole, and Miami Northwestern were 3 teams that were not on our schedule last year. And obviously, I think we said in all different segments throughout the season, those are 3 of the top teams year in and year out. And for whatever reason, the strength of schedule has gone down just based on, all the other, whatever the algorithm is and how that's figured. And so all that being said, we're really looking forward to the challenges this week, the ability to bounce back and play well and improve on what happened last week.
Coach, you and I talked a little bit about this with the bracket being what it is this year. Now, in years past, it was the top 4 seeds were your district champs, and then the bottom 4 were the at-large berths. Now it's changed, and it's all based off of the rankings. So whether you're a district champ or an at-large, that is all based off just your strength of schedule that ultimately comes up with your ranking. Right now, Vero Beach is sitting at number 6, correct?
Yeah, so I think the new rankings came up, and how that works is the top 8 teams in your region make the state playoffs. You need to finish in the top 8, but the 4 locks are the district champs. So Treasure Coast finished as a district champ in our district. We've got DeLand as a district champ in one of the other districts. We've got
Heritage, I believe.
Heritage as a district champ, and then Kissimmee Osceola. So those 4 have locked up the 4 seeds, and then the 4 at large come from the next highest seed. So, yeah, I mean, we sit at 6 right now, and that could go up or down, whatever, and we'll see what happens.
So most likely we are on the road through the course of the playoffs. Is that fair?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that the first round for sure, if you're not in the top 4, because the only thing that could happen is if, something would upset and then it would go to the higher seed. So yeah, we're looking at some road games for sure.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to wish you the best of luck here for Friday night. Be good to get a win and go into the playoffs with some momentum, as you talked about in that first segment. So look forward to that, and good luck.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here. Happy Halloween to everybody, and we'll see you Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Friday night at the Citrus Bowl. Game time, 7 o'clock. Our coverage begins at 6 p.m. with countdown to kickoff. Gary Parris, Coach Jankowski, I'm Paul Tipton saying good night, God bless, and go Indians.
Thanks for watching the Coach's Corner, presented by Caps Pizza and Pub.